The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
It is Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday, where we answer your questions. They can be about football. They do not have to be about football, and that's why we brought Aaron in. Do we have any questions so far?
Well, we can start off with Aaron Flynn's question that I think is very interesting. It says, how many apples can you hold in one hand while you're holding a bag of lemons in the other? And I don't know if this is a reference to something, so Aaron, if you want to explain your question, please do. But
yeah, like, is this a trick question? Like, meaning you're holding the bag of lemons, so like how do you, or do I have to grab with, like, let's say I'm holding the bag of lemons in my right hand, am I having to grab the apples with my left because
That's
I can't?
true.
It's like
can
do
you
do that kind of thing?
Put the apples in your hand?
I will tell you,
Right.
Aaron, the reason I wasn't a pitcher is because I actually don't have very big hands. So I probably can't hold many.
I was to say, yeah, I
It's
definitely,
true.
I have
huge hands.
I bet you I have the biggest hands out of all of us.
Have we tried it before?
Okay,
You have tiny hands.
okay,
You're just tiny in general.
So
No.
I'm 6 foot, size 9 shoe, and like small hand.
Hands.
Like I'm weird.
Well, and it's
disproportion.
With 6
We are too, though.
We are, yeah, because
We all are.
I couldn't grip the softball like most pitchers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
So-
funny.
We
I
all
know.
are,
I
though.
never
We're
have
all
to-
just, I have a size 9.5 foot, so.
I'm
And
up
I'm
to like
5'3", 5'4".
anywhere. I mean, it depends on the shoe, obviously. On sandals and stuff, I'll go down more to like a 9.5 if I can do it. But most time with tennis shoes, it's like 10.5, 10. I got big feet and hands.
So
Yeah.
then
I'm just
how?
lanky.
Okay, so how many apples could you hold then?
Oh, I don't know. Well, the other thing, Mallory brought this up because we were actually discussing this prior to the show because that came off of a Twitter question there. But it depends on the apples too. Like, are we talking about like
Great point.
the cheap bag of the horrible red delicious apples that are like this big? Because at that point, I could probably do like 5 apples in my hand.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we're talking about a legit, like you said, good Honeycrisp apple, they're big.
How about
You can
this?
hold about 2.
How about
Yeah.
this? Just got my nails done. Can I stab them?
Ooh,
That's a good point. So if you want, you could do. Here, I'll
You know
have
what I
to show
mean?
You have to
Like-
do
like
one
we
on
could
this one,
utilize
2,
different
3,
strategies.
4, 5. Just stab 5 of
Five
them
of
with your
them.
nails. There you go. So
Bam.
that's a good way to get around that, I guess. I don't know.
So
I feel like we
thinking.
figured it out.
Aaron, my answer is with a fresh set of nails.
More
5.
than just
Now,
regular.
I don't know if the nails will hold through it, but 5.
5. I like it. Also, I just don't understand where the bag of lemons plays into this. But there's probably like some legit.
Well, when life gives you them, put them in a mimosa. You know?
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Well, okay, someone said, he said, adding to the question, could you hold more apples in your left or right hand? Does that change things? It absolutely
Yeah.
does change things.
I can
because
hold more in
my
my
left
right.
hand is useless.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can make a left-handed layup, and that is the only thing that I have ever found that I can do with
because
my
you're a
left
baller.
hand.
Because I mean, you know,
No.
she's
but
modest. She is.
it's like my right hand,
Let me
I have a
think.
lot more strength. And I know
Yes.
that even from working out. Like, I've got a lot more strength in my right arm than I
Yeah.
do in my left. My
Okay.
whole left side is just so useless.
is.
Wait,
Mine is
not,
too.
Not to go off on a tangent, but literally at Orange Theory the other day,
Uh-huh.
remember that Powerade commercial? Or it was like a Gatorade commercial where it was like they had like a heavier weight in one arm and like because like they were trying to like even out the arms. I felt that way at Orange Theory. I was like, I feel like I need to go heavier in my
yeah.
left.
I need a 5 here
Lighter
and a
than my- I was like,
10
this one's way bigger than this one.
This
So
one.
like, so I was like, I'm totally living out that sports drink commercial that I cannot remember right now.
That's a good point, though. It really
but it's
is.
true. Like your right is much
Stronger, yeah. Just I mean,
Right.
I utilize it so much. Even opening doors, you know, it's
Right,
like everything that I do with my right hand. So I'm naturally going to be. Also, grip strength plays a lot into that. Like my grip with my right hand is going to be a lot stronger.
Oh,
than my
don't
left.
get us started on grip
Grip
strength.
strength.
Oh boy.
Wait, did you, with you being a basketball star, did you ever train? Did you ever do anything? I'd heard of like some girls that like would start like eating with their left, like doing different things in life with their left
On
hand
purpose to try and-
to try to like become a little more.
That probably would have helped out a little
Yeah,
bit. I mean,
yeah.
shoot, my dad's probably going to listen and go, God, well, she should have done that. But no, I will say, I know in practice and stuff, though, if I was ever dribbling for a drill that we could choose to go whatever way, I would always try and do it with my left. So that way I could get better and better with that because it was like if I sat there and did it with my right the whole time, there was no way that I was ever going to work on that. So it's like anything, like even just going to shoot around with the guys or whatever afterward, like after a workout, it was like I would always try to do everything with my left hand to get better at needing to use it.
Yeah.
She was like in the Disney movie. What was the one where they touched the nose, the twins? Okay,
Nope.
maybe I'm dating myself.
no.
Never mind.
Is it Parent Trap?
Double Teamed.
Oh,
Do you remember
I've
Double?
not
Okay.
seen that.
Oh.
She goes, I'm
Well,
dating
listen,
myself.
we'll catch you all up on.
I'll catch you youngins
on
up
Disney.
on
I'll fill you in on all the old people stuff after the show.
The one thing, since we're on the topic of arm workouts real fast, this reminds me, I was asking, we asked Step if Step said I could give the update on him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was asking how he was feeling, and he was like, it's day by day process. He's doing better. But he said definitely going to be a while before I can hit the gym and blast my pecs. And I responded with,
Blast
probably for the
pecs.
better. Your dream of ever being able to compete with the cannons needed to end eventually. So anyway, if that doesn't show you that Step is in really good spirits, he's like, yeah, doing really good, but he can't get in there and blast his pecs, as he
Is
said.
Step watching? Do we know if Step's watching?
I believe so.
He probably
okay, so
is.
Step, I've worn this before, but I'm wearing it again because it's the first time with Pickle. This T-shirt right here represents
I want one.
Ashley Pickle's return to the alma mater for the first time as a then Fox Sports Southwest reporter.
Yeah, that was a
pretty-
cool time. Yeah, shout out Kevin Kelso and the
They were
design
hosting
shop out
the
there.
who?
San Sama
Armadillos!
Armadillos.
Yeah. I mean,
I want
what
one
a
of those.
game.
It was, yeah. No, that was the best part about that is Tepper, like going back to that, Tepper and I had really been like we put that in the producer's ear early in the season because we were like, is there a way that I could get to a Llano game? And we looked at it and it was the 4th week of the season, and it's like, okay, it's right before district starts. It's a crosstown. We found out it was homecoming. We're like, this is all. He goes, if they're both 3-0, we can make it happen. They were both 3-0, and then it ended up being such a good game. Llano won in like the final 20 seconds of the game, and that was one of the coolest experiences. But yeah, obviously the town found out that we were coming, so they made shirts.
That is so
So-
cool.
Well, and the return of the homecoming queen, Mallory. I mean,
Oh
she's-
Lord,
she is Miss Everything, Miss
Right?
Lano.
No.
You
I
are.
was
My
smells
whole
like
life is just to keep up with her.
Oh, God.
It
I'm
is.
keeping it
we
simple.
gotta stop
Man,
this.
do you see? I just this week I have bags under my eyes because I'm just trying to keep up with you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But yeah, I always try and keep up with you.
keep up
Do
with
we
both of
have
y'all.
another question, Mallory?
We sure do. We'll go ahead and switch it to realignment. What would surprise you the most about realignment? I guess. Is the
Okay.
question. So
Someone
we'll get
asked me
that.
this the other night at the office, and speaking of Step, I had seen one of his tweets this past season, one of his millions of tweets this past season. The one, remember that one?
Yeah.
Remember that one that he tweeted about the addition of 7A.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's not going to be this next year,
Right.
but from what I've gathered, we could see it as early as 2023.
That's wild to
Yeah,
me.
I mean, it would be, I guess it would technically end up being, since this is 2022, it would be 2024 because realignment would come once
or
every 2 years.
Math. I was told that was
don't
not a
know.
part of this.
But yeah, I mean,
Alas, here we are.
the way that it's going, I would say it's looking more like it will happen than not.
It's because if you think about it, I mean, it's like we already have over 1,400 UIL schools in the state, and we're only adding more, and they're only
Right.
growing, and it would surprise me, but it wouldn't,
Right.
Because it's Texas, and like Coach Purcell often reminds me to put into perspective how large this state is. If you took El Paso and you grabbed it and you folded it over across the country, it'd be in the Atlantic Ocean. If you took like Texarkana and you folded it over, it'd be in the Pacific. I mean, that's how much ground Texas covers, and it's just, I don't know. When you really, and then it was like when we covered Stratford in the state championships, and we threw out the nugget. I think you did actually that on the podcast that week that Stratford, Texas, is closer to 4 other states' capitals
Wow.
than its own.
Yeah.
Kansas, Oklahoma, Colorado, and New Mexico.
It's wild.
Than its own state capital in the state. Like, I mean,
That's
and
interesting.
so I mean, I don't know. It's just it's coming.
Well, and there's a
yeah,
ton of
for
people
sure.
moving here. Like that's
Oh my
that's
gosh,
like
yeah.
worldwide stuff, but like people from California coming and they're moving here, and those are people that are really, really good at football. So kids
Right.
want to come and they want to play. I think Katy Pato is the perfect example of this, or a Shadow Creek, if you will. It was like you open up you go win a couple state championships because you're technically like a 6A school playing in insert whichever 5A division. And Katy Pato is going to be 6A when the realignment comes. And they just grew and grew and grew. And when you keep opening those feeder schools, it's bound to happen.
Right.
They can't not expand at that point.
Yeah.
Right. I was talking to one of our interns. He actually went to Allen. And I asked him, I was like, I'm always curious when people go to Allen, I always ask, how large was your graduating class? And he said about 1,300. And he's like, it increases by at least 100 each year. And I'm like,
That's insane.
That's just absurd to me.
I
can't
think
even.
when Terry Gamble was there, Terry mentioned that Allen was about the same size, if not bigger, than Rice University and a number of other
my gosh,
smaller
that's just
universities.
absurd.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
can't believe.
I couldn't fathom. Like I had like 250, I think, in my graduating class. Granted, went to a private school up in Omaha, Nebraska. But I don't know. I couldn't fathom, I guess, being in a graduating class the size of maybe my incoming class at West Texas A&M.
Right.
Right.
Well, and
Yeah.
that was,
In
I
high
mean,
school.
I graduated with 112. So, I mean, Lana
that's
we didn't even
crazy.
have, here's how I always put it into perspective. Just because, like, even people like you that went to, like, Arlington, like, you're not in those 1,000 range,
No.
but probably 500-600 maybe.
It was, but my graduating class, I think, was about 800, 850.
Yeah,
so
and
it was still big, but not nearly close to being 1,000 plus.
No, and see,
you
that
know?
still blows my mind because we didn't even have 500 kids in our high school. So
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
that's how I always put it into perspective of like, I knew every single person. Our graduation literally with like 6 different students speaking, all the administration lasted an hour, start to finish. Everyone got their diploma and it's great. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you're in and you're out. And it's, I ask, people that grew up here, I'm like, they're like, oh no, there were people walking across the stage that I've never seen before in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I
I
sat
can tell
next
you
to somebody on graduation
Yeah.
day. I sat next to somebody on graduation day, and I was just like, "Hi, what's your name?" We had to introduce each other because I was like, "I have no idea who you
No,
are."
and meanwhile, I could tell you the name of the dead dog of the second cousin of their whatever. Like that's legitimately how it
That's
went.
Dead dog?
That's
You have to go
crazy.
dead dog on a Friday?
That's, that's just to show you there. Already off the rails, but yeah, it's just like it's wild to me to do that.
So 7A wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't surprise us.
No,
No.
not
Yeah.
at all. I don't.
So
I don't
yeah,
think
it's
at
coming.
all.
2024. I think we'll see that.
Yeah.
So
And to throw a little bit of a nugget in there, if you want to see more content on that step, actually put out, I don't know, 12 different articles, probably 6 different articles,
Yeah.
not 12, 6 different articles on what each classification would look like if there was a 7A. So go check those out
Wow.
on our website if you're interested in
Right,
that.
and that's the
So-
thing too. I mean, a lot of them end up staying the same, but they're the ones that everyone looks at of
Yes.
the Highland Park. They're moving up,
Right,
and so
right.
there's a couple of different surprises there that we're always looking for that switch year in and year out. But I would say Highland Park's probably the big one this
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
because people are always looking to see what that is.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Let's go ahead and move on to a coach's question. So everybody knows that Coach Kevin Hoffman from Mart is retiring. So do you guys have any front runners that you think do you know anybody who might replace him, or the front runners who are going to replace him?
Oh gosh, I mean that's
I-
asking me to be Matt Stepp, which
I know. Yeah,
I have
it's
not-
no. I will just say it was poor Hoff had to be on the sideline of Falls City at the state championship game. Oh God.
Because he got the coach of
'Cause he
the
had-
coach of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone goes, why is he standing on the sideline of the team that essentially
Knocked him out.
because he has to.
Yep.
No, I don't know.
It's more of a Matt Stepp question.
Yeah, that's more of a. But I will tell you, one thing we need to do with Hoff before he retires and sails off into the sunset on some golf course on like a deserted island somewhere because he's gonna be living the life, right? We need to grill.
Yeah.
We need to test the grilling skills.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Because his Casey Thompson.
Because he claims he talks a big game.
He
and
does.
He tweets it.
I was
Yeah.
just going to say, and it's his assistant coach. I want to say it's Casey something.
I mean, allow us
I'm
to be the
sorry
judges
that
of
I
that,
don't-
Coach Hoffman.
Yeah, it's his assistant coach, but he's always like, man, he's out here taking all the credit for all of this stuff, and he was like, I'm the one over here grinding. So it's, I would love to see that feud in person too. Like that would be my favorite part of all of that.
That's what I think we should do that. We should do like a traveling podcast where we travel around the state and let coaches grill for us.
That's fantastic.
I have been trying to get that
barbecue for us. Like Chris Gilbert's like, come on down.
Oh yeah,
you know?
absolutely. In the Cedar Hill, they do. One of their assistant coaches, Step, actually went to it earlier this year. But they do it like every Wednesday or every Thursday or something like that. And yeah, every week go out there, get some ribs. It's amazing.
You grill, we eat. It's a win-win.
See, we covered the barbecue
You get
state
some coverage,
championship.
like
yeah,
your city gets some coverage.
We actually brought that up last night to Adam. We were like, hey, barbecue championships again are going down in like April, and we're like, you need to come down because we need to be the presenting sponsor of that.
Yeah.
It only makes sense. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it only makes sense. So
Fantastic
that's
idea.
We're chopping away bit by bit
Does
at
Matt
Adam.
Step cover those?
He was
And
in Canada last year.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
it
right.
was it was me,
Canada.
Tepper, and Powers, and Powers was a judge. We're standing there. We walk in. We're standing there, and they're like, "Anybody want to be a judge?" And when I tell you that I hope to feel the level of happiness that I saw in Greg Powers' eyes in that moment. Like, I've never seen a grown man look like Santa's coming, and that was Powers in that moment. And then he's sitting there, and the whole time he's judging, and he's trying to be super serious, but he sees me videoing.
Yeah.
And so he was like, and then
Oh,
right
that's
back down.
so
It was so good.
fantastic.
Powers is like having to like pinch it. He's like, did I die and go to
Heaven. Yep.
I mean, listen, did he? I just want to know whether he had a margarita with him. That's what he calls a margarita. It's called a margarita. Margarita.
Yeah, that's such a Greg Powers thing.
I actually started my career with Greg Powers. God bless him.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you got to
Oh yeah, I
tell
was
the
gonna ask
story.
you. Yeah, how did you get into broadcast?
Oh God, that's too long of a story, girl. Like, why shouldn't I have is probably the better question. No, I'm kidding, kind of. No, I don't know. It's a long story. I want to know like y'all's stories.
No,
That's
we
what
want to hear. Okay, you go
I'm
first,
like,
and then
no,
we'll
no,
go.
no. I don't.
We want to hear about you.
At least tell the press box story.
Okay.
God.
That's the best
I
one.
will
She
just tell
gave me
you-
a hint into that.
I will just tell you my first gig out of school was covering college football recruiting for Scout.com after Kansas
Oh my
City. I
gosh,
had like
how
a
fun.
weird brief stint in Kansas City. It was like a midlife crisis thing. Then I returned to Texas. I cleared my head, returned to Texas where I should be. And I was working under Greg Powers. Well, it was the start of the playoffs in 2010. And Greg wasn't able to make it to, I've never called him Greg before. That was weird. I'm so sorry, Powers. I'm so sorry. That was really weird. He wasn't able to make it. And so he's like, hey, my buddy Matt Stepp, who at the time was working for Rivals, will be there. It was at UTA. It was Arlington Bowie and Arlington. I guess it was the regular season finale. And it was like the winner to the postseason, like winner would to earn district title and then top seed in the playoffs. And he's like, my buddy Matt Stepp will be there. Like, he'll kind of show you the ropes, this and that or whatever. And it just was an absolute, like, nightmare for Stepp. It's like, I don't know if Stepp knew what he was signing up for. He was like, yeah, I'll take her under my wing. He immediately
I want to
regretted
take
that
her
decision.
back.
Let's just say that. He immediately regretted that decision because it was, like, after a spilled Coke, dropped sandwich all over the floor. It was like he was cleaning up after a child, and I'm like, hey, so when do we go do interviews after the game? I'm getting red just thinking about it because I'm like,
That is
Steph,
fantastic.
How am I here right now after that? Oh my God, because of you. That's why I call him to this day my Mr. Miyagi, because he showed me the way.
I love it. Well, and that's what makes it so fun is you're still doing like you're still immersed in that high school football world. If you weren't, the story wouldn't be near as funny if you weren't like here today, you know?
Valerie,
Right.
how embarrassing was I probably? I mean, you don't even poor stuff.
You're still here.
Thinking,
Everything
like,
is okay.
He's like acting like he doesn't know me. I'm like, hey man, so when do we go to the field and do an interview? Like, no. Oh my God. But no, I'm just so thankful for him. Now I want to know y'all stories.
You can go first.
So when I was it's kind of a long story
Former
too, but so March 25th, 1997. No, when I was little, my dad managed a bowling alley, and when I was like 3, I would go I asked if I could read off the bowlers, like they had a senior league on like Tuesday afternoons at 3:00 or whatever. And so I wanted to be the one to announce the winner. And so they were like, we should have known since then. But then when I was real little, I always wanted to be a meteorologist. I would stand in front of Jim Spencer who was a KVU down in Austin. And I would stand in front of the TV with a sparkly microphone and like mirror doing weather. And then I obviously started playing sports and I really liked it and stuff. And it just kind of turned in like, I always knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I competed in a UIL impromptu speaking in 7th grade. And I won,
which
I got district champion.
Which I love, by the way.
Impromptu
so,
speaking. I love that.
Was it actually called like a speaking competition?
It was UIL academics, and so they had like the different speaking ones that you could do was like I think prose and poetry or whatever, where you would read and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, impromptu speaking, you literally go in there, and they don't have it anymore, which is what stunk. By the time I got into high school, they didn't have it, or else I really would have kept competing in it. But you walk in there and you get a little slip that has a topic on it, and you have 5 minutes maybe sitting in a room of thinking of giving like this whole speech about this specific thing. And so yeah, I made it into the finals, and so I had to go do another little speech thing. And yeah, you talk just off the top of your head for about 6-7 minutes.
Okay, this is like the second like academic like what do they call it? Extracurricular or whatever, like right, like that I've heard. Okay, so someone told me North Texas now offers like a wine class or something.
Yep.
Now I'm hearing they have like a speaking competition, like things I would have been really good at if they had offered that
wine
back
and
in my
talking.
day.
Wine and talking. We do that
like
on a
24
daily
hours that I'm like, what?
We
Like,
do that on
where
a daily
was I?
anyway. That's an
No.
automatic.
Yeah,
I think that's awesome.
so after I realized, I was like, oh, I'm actually like decent at this talking thing. And then I was like, dude, I could get like I could
get paid
make
for
a
this.
living talking about football. Like that's all I
Yeah.
gotta do is love the game and then go talk about it. And they're like, yeah, here's a mic. And I was like, sign me the hell up. Like, say less.
And she has been Emmy Award winning ever since.
Absolutely. Mine's not nearly as good as that. So
Mallory's modest too. Let me
Yes.
introduce
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Mallory
No,
Hartley.
I'm not.
Modest
No.
Mallory is what I'm calling. No, you're a stud. Where'd you begin?
Well, thank you. So mine's super simple. My dad went to Michigan State, and so I started to get into sports probably when I was, I don't know, 6th grade, 7th grade.
You have a video.
Something. Yeah, I do.
She has
so
a video of her dad holding
it's-
her as like a 3-month-old or something.
Yeah, so it's so I'm about 3 months. This was actually the year before Michigan State won the NCAA tournament in basketball. And so he's talking to me and he's like, I just turned in all your picks. This was about February. He's like, I can't believe you took Michigan State to go all the way. And I was like, that's so funny because I still do that. Like, I still make that mistake every year as picking them to go all the way. And so I guess really ever since then, I've made that same mistake every year.
Blessed and cursed ever since.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess it's just following them since I was really young, and I just knew that I wanted to be on TV or, I don't know, an internet show someday.
I mean, my dream was like, have you ever heard about a mediocre internet show in Louisville, Texas?
I was like, that's what I want to do. That is what I want to do.
Any
So
kids, Greg Tepper's mediocre.
there's internet show.
What have we done with our lives?
Exactly. So
How did I get here?
This is
did we
literally,
get here?
yeah, it's literally like in the start of the movies, and it's like the person sitting there, and it's like, you might be wondering, hi, yes, this is me. You might be wondering how I got here. Like, that's how I feel every day I walk into this studio.
What if I told you they didn't feel accomplished?
yeah.
Next 30 for 30.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's kind of how I started. I think one day my mom had mentioned like, hey, that'd be cool to make a living talking about one of your favorite teams on TV. Like, she pointed at like Aaron Andrews or something, and I was like, good idea. Ever since then, I'm like, let's enroll in college.
Duly
Let's
noted.
do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay,
thing.
wait.
So
But like, you are like the voice of Mean Green Games, right? Like,
as of right now, it was her in the past. It was her.
okay, when was the baton handed?
It
How did that transition work?
It really never was, though. It was like we never crossed paths. So she's 2 years older than I am.
Okay.
Yes.
And so she handed it off to Nick Laupius, who was the MC a year after you had left.
Yes.
And so that's kind of when I was hired because
he got a
was
new
leaving.
job in Amarillo.
yes.
He's a play-by-play guy for the hockey team out in Amarillo.
Yes.
And so they needed a suggestion, and they went, and then so Mallory got to kind of train under him for a game or so, and then it happened.
Yeah. So that's the birth of my MC-ness.
Okay,
Yes.
but that's like that's a different skill set. Like, that's beyond just like reporting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you have to
Totally
different. It's fun.
infuse energy
See, that's the hard part.
into a college football stadium.
Yes.
like,
Right.
That's not
the hard-
easy.
Well,
No.
and
And you're
Hers
really
is-
good at it. That's
Well,
what
thank
you.
you.
know what I mean?
Hers is legitimately impressive because I got lucky. Those were the time that I was there was North Texas's like 3 best years. I mean, that's when we went to the Conference USA Championship for the first time.
Right.
So getting a crowd hyped in a stadium where they're already hyped and there's people there and the stands are like, that's easy money. They'll drink. They're yelling at anything. like we come out and do a Whataburger dance for your dinner, and they're like, yeah.
Wait, they're not sober for a game in Denton? What?
Breaking news coming
farthest
here.
from. Yeah.
But it's like, obviously, things have been a little bit more of a struggle. And so she's got to go out there and hype a crowd that's not necessarily the happiest right then. And that's way more difficult. Like, it's underratedly difficult when you're hyping someone that's not already hyped.
Right. And not to mention, we're kind of in a downward spiral just because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so there's not many fans that have been attending the games, not as much as there have been in the past, especially basketball right now. And students
indoors,
are still students are still on Christmas break. And so basketball, there's not as many attendees as there have been in the past, just because of all the factors that we've been having to deal with.
Campus is dead right now. Yeah,
it is.
And
the Christmas time basketball games are like,
it's.
But
right.
listen, girl, if you can do that, you can
do anything.
Yeah, I promise you can do anything.
Yeah.
You make it look easy though, so keep doing
you,
girl.
Thank you.
I
I'm blushing. You can't tell, but I'm blushing.
I love it.
all right,
I
Malpa, do we have any more?
Yeah, I got one. First question: do you guys know what bowl poker is?
Bull poker.
I didn't either, so I looked it up. Let me read you the definition of bull poker.
Did we sound intrigued?
Yeah.
Or was that,
Like,
was that intriguing
You
enough?
had my attention. Now you have my interest.
We were like in sync there.
Okay, so I got. Oops, excuse me. I switched it to you. I didn't know this. I didn't know what bull poker was, so I had to look it up. Let me read you the definition of it first, and then I'll read you the question.
Is this like illegal?
Yeah.
We're going to get in trouble.
No, nope, no, I promise. I looked it up. It says, in the U.S., there is a contest played at rodeos where the contestants sit at a table in the middle of a rodeo arena, and an angry bull is turned loose in the arena.
Oh, bull!
Anyone who gets up and runs away busts out, and the last contestant to remain seated wins the game. Now, the question that somebody asked is, who would be, out of the best 3, the last standing in a game of bull poker?
Oh, I'm slow.
So that's
Yeah,
interesting question.
I'm first out.
I genuinely, it's going to be you.
Y'all duke it out.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
We're chill on the sideline.
I don't mean to flex, but I did run track in 7th grade.
Yeah,
so
exactly. We've got 7th grade track star over here.
Okay,
she's a runner.
Explain to me why when you first said that I was thinking bowling for some reason.
I did
Okay,
too.
I need to
first off,
enunciate.
you can tell that you are not country in the slightest bit. Because
You can so tell now.
I'm thinking, I was like,
Exposed.
bowl? I thought you meant bowl
I'm
as
like,
in
so
like,
how many pins and what weight is the ball?
well, and it's funny. I thought
No.
I thought bowl games,
no.
I thought it had something to do with bowl games. That's where my mind
That
went.
would be
and then you were like,
correct
yeah, you're
assumption.
sitting in a rodeo arena, and I'm going bowl games, rodeo arena. This is not adding up. And then bowl,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, the
BULL.
best/worst part of this is that we are sober and we still don't know. Like this is us sober.
Yeah.
Right now. If people are wondering like what's going on, like
Yeah.
we still are like, wait.
They're like, did they drink some
How
wine
many?
before?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Like,
Maybe. I think
So, yeah,
maybe
I
I
would
would
definitely-
win.
Yeah,
you
you
maybe.
absolutely
Yeah,
would.
let's crown
Maybe.
you. Let's
I don't-
crown you.
All right.
I don't know the last
I'll
time
take
I
it.
ran. Like,
What do you mean, Miss Basketball Star over here? What do you mean?
yeah, no, that's okay. Like, legitimately, just run. Like, hooping is different.
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
can do that because I'm not thinking about
Sprinting.
running. But yeah, I'm talking
Okay,
about like the
but-
last time I've gone out and like if you ask me to time my 40 right now,
But think about this
Can I
situation.
stretch
Awful.
before? Can I stretch?
yeah, exactly. Do I get time to stretch? I have a lot of questions.
Okay, but think about
I'm
the
not a
situation
spring
that you
chicken
would be
anymore.
in. You would be pretty much terrified of this bull hitting you. So you would be in an adrenaline rush.
Oh, yeah.
Which automatically makes you probably run faster. So you're probably going to be a little bit faster than you would think because you don't want this bull
That's
completely
true.
destroying
But at the
Still
end of the
think
day-
you're
but at
saying
the end of
bowl.
the day, you just have to be
Bull.
faster than the
Bowl.
people you're running against. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
like
like-
when
yeah.
a
Yeah.
lion's chasing you. And
Or-
like, it-
right.
Like my strategy would be stiff arming. Like if I can get you to
Husband.
the bull first, the bull. That's the other thing is bulls are very they get distracted by things. They hone in on
That's
one
why they
thing.
have that clown there.
Wait, how do you know that?
I grew up
She
in
country.
Atlanta.
Oh, that's right.
Like, yeah,
Bull
I do
whisperer.
this.
I dig this.
But yeah, no,
this is
it's
a new
like,
facet of pickle.
oh yeah, no, okay, rodeo pickle's a real thing. I love
That-
rodeo.
that's
It's
one
like
of the
Fort
most
Worth is
illegal
going
rodeo
on.
pickle right now.
Yeah.
I want rodeo pickle for a bit.
Well, did y'all ever
We-
do mutton?
yeah.
I'm not even gonna ask you. Is that a thing in Nebraska? Mutton busting?
Okay, it is, but not where I was from.
Okay.
But hold on, let me. Is that like little bulls, like baby bulls?
No, it's sheep. Yeah, the little kid. So it literally, this is how mutton busting.
trying.
Mutton busting is little kids, like I'm talking little kids, go and they wrap themselves around a sheep.
I've seen it.
And then they open up the door and all the sheep run, and whichever little kid can keep holding on to the sheep the longest wins.
But see, I would be like the person that would just want to like pet
I
the
just
sheep.
want to pet the sheep.
me too.
There's always one little girl over there that does that.
I just want to take one home.
Yeah, no, there's kids that like really get into it. My cousin did it for a long time. That he would have a little helmet and stuff, and he goes and it's crazy because it's the cutest thing in the world because it's all these sheep and the kids are just holding on for dear life. And then you're just watching kids fall down like crazy, sheep going everywhere.
I've always wanted like a baby lamb or a baby pig. Is that weird?
No. The teacup pigs are cute.
Oh, pigs! I would love a baby pig.
So like, that's like the most
They smell
country I've
awful.
ever gotten is like
You think they're cute?
Okay.
Okay, so wait, can y'all back me up then when people are like, "Oh, you're from Nebraska, you were born and raised in a cornfield," and then I make a joke about like shucking corn before going to school? Like, I am so far. Like, can y'all back me up now?
Yes.
Like, I don't know what. Like, I am
Yes.
so far from that. I know. I'm trying.
Well,
I'll study next time.
My cousins live up in Wisconsin. My whole family's from Wisconsin, and so they always think like, "Oh, how do you get to school? Do you ride your horse?" And I'm like, "Do you see my lifestyle? I don't even know what a horse is." Like,
Wait, in Wisconsin? Seriously?
I know. I'm like, you guys
at
are
least-
so oblivious to
Wisconsin,
everything.
yeah, there's beautiful farmland and stuff out
I
there.
would
You
have
would
at
think
least
that they
made
would.
the joke of like I don't know, like snow dogs, like
Yeah.
pulling you on a sled instead. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, because I'm in snow. Okay, wait, what part of Wisconsin?
Oh
Or
my!
is your family from?
Let me think of the name of it. It's like it's a little small town in Wisconsin. It's
I would
not-
have no
it's not
idea even
Grand
if you said it.
Spotted
is that
cow.
Michigan?
Are you familiar with spotted?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's
the-
spotted cow.
I've been
No,
to
no, no,
Wisconsin.
no. It's like it's a type of brew. It's a brew made, and
Oh.
I went to Milwaukee.
I thought it was a place. I was
Sorry.
like, what?
Sorry. Okay, but it's only made in Wisconsin. It is only made in Wisconsin. Like it is not
Okay.
made beyond the Wisconsin
Oh.
borders. And I went to Milwaukee. My cousin got married there. She and her
okay.
husband went to Marquette, and they had this like spotted cow cream ale that was like amazing. But apparently, it is literally only made in that state.
Wow.
And so they're like known
Oh,
for it.
wow. It's
That's
Wisconsin
awesome.
Rapids.
People
Also,
will
my mom
travel
just
there to like bring it back.
Cool. Yeah,
sorry.
Wisconsin Rapids. There's like a cheese factory there and everything. That's really all I know
Super
about
on
them.
brand.
I'm in.
Right.
I'm in.
Right.
Give me some cheese curds and
you
a
had me
spotted
at cheese
cow.
factory.
and
When I go
I'm
up there next, I'll bring a
in.
couple home.
Yes.
All right, Malpaw, do we have an ender, or was that it?
I think that was our ender. I think I
think
meant that for us to
Aaron
be
ended
our
with beer
ender.
cheese curds at the end. Like
You had me
and
at Cheese Factory, the
and
famous last
exit.
words
There
of
you
Texas
go.
football today. 'Cause
There.
we're setting the computer on fire, and someone asked that in the comments the other day. They were like, "Did Tepper quit?" And we were like, "Well, we don't think so, but we really don't know. Like, we could expected him to come back on Tuesday, and then it'd be like, nope, guess not. Guess he quit."
You're like, that actually hasn't been confirmed
Yeah,
or
I was
denied
like,
yet.
they asked,
so
I was like, you know what? I can't
We
give
don't
you
really
an honest
know. We haven't
answer.
seen him in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was
I
like
don't know.
that was the first time that we saw him last night. I was like, "Oh,
You still
you're
exist.
still alive. Cool."
Yeah.
All right. Well, Aaron, thank you very much for joining us. We're glad that you could help provide nonsense with us for the last show.
Yeah, it was fun.
But we were like, we need nonsense. Who do we call? Hardigan.
Yeah,
the
not
super,
even
the super. I like that nickname stuck. By the way.
Oh yeah,
Thank
Max
you,
Thompson again.
Yeah, yeah.
The supernova.
Wait, and does Max still take credit for being like the inspiration behind Tepper's second son's?
Oh yeah,
naming
absolutely.
rights?
for sure.
Okay.
No
Okay.
one will ever be able to convince Max Thompson that Max Tepper is not named after him.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Absolutely not.
confirming.
Yeah.
So
We miss you guys. We love you. And Matt Stepp, cannot wait to see you again.
super excited.
Yeah.
Glad he's doing better, and hope that he gets a really good homemade meal tonight. I'm sure Mrs. Stepp will provide that.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe.